Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to a new day. Today is our last day in March. Can you believe that? March has already flown by. We were with you for part of the month, and now we are not with each other for the rest of the month. But we're still going to make it fun because this week we're learning about our solar system. So we learned all about the moon before we left, and now today I'm going to read you a book about the sun so we can learn some cool facts about our sun. I know we learned already that in ancient times people thought that the sun was a god, and so Miss Baudin found out that different people called it differently. So the ancient Egyptians, the people in Egypt with the pyramids, they called the sun god Ra. Well, they had other people in Central America called the Aztecs, and they called the sun god Tonatiuh. I think that's how you pronounce it. Not sure, but it sounds fun to say, Tonatiuh. So that's what they believed that the sun was when it was a god, or they thought the sun was a god. But we know the sun is really just a big star. So Ms. Baudin's going to go ahead. This was a book we were supposed to read in class. So I'm going to use it on my computer and read it to you so you can see all the cool pictures as well. So let's learn about the sun. Let's see if you can see it. Perfect. The sun. And this is going to be a non-fiction informational text, which means it is going to give us a lot of facts. Very good. True facts about the sun. And as we see, here's our table of contents. And what is a table of contents again? Yeah, very good. A table of contents tells you the different chapters and the page numbers you can find them on. Very good. A yellow star. The sun shines brightly in the sky. It is a yellow star. The sun is the closest star to Earth. It is 93 million miles, or 150 million kilometers away from Earth. Super duper far. The sun is like other stars in space. It is a burning ball of gases. The sun is much larger than Earth. About 109 Earths could fit across the sun. So we know how big Earth is. So just think, 109 of Earths would go across the sun. That means the sun is ginormous. Planets and the sun. The sun is the center of the solar system. Planets, dwarf planets, asteroids, and comets move around the sun. Everything revolves around the sun, and this is everything we're going to be learning about during this week, all the different planets. Can you find our planet Earth in that picture? Very good. It's right there where it says Earth. Earth moves around the sun once each year. The seasons change as Earth moves around the sun. Who remembers how many days it takes for Earth to go around the sun? 365. Very good. So when Earth goes, it'll take it 365 days to travel around to the same spot. And as the Earth travels, remember, it spins on its axis, which causes day and night. Well, as it's spinning, the Earth is also tilting different ways, which causes the different seasons. Summer, autumn, which also means fall, very good, winter, and spring. Which season are we currently in right now? Very good, we are in spring. So here's what Earth looks like according to this picture in relation to the sun. The sun and earth sky. Earth spins once each day. As earth spins, the sun seems to move across the sky. The sun rises in the east every morning, which means it comes up in the east, and the sun sets in the west every night, which means it goes down. So it's just showing you the way that the earth is rotating around its axis. See if you can notice in your sky at your house where the sun is going down. Where it's going down, that's pointing west. In the complete opposite direction, facing your back, if you're facing west, that's east. That's where the sun is going to come up every single morning. See if you can figure out which way is east and west at your house tonight. The sun gives Earth light and heat. The sun makes life on Earth possible. And here is our glossary. Remember, the glossary is all of those nice bold words, and it gives us definitions of what they were. So we can go through and we can read it. An asteroid is a large rocky body that moves around the sun. Asteroids are too small to be called planets. And this is what we're going to talk about when we get to the asteroid belt, which separates those inner and outer planets. Comet, a ball of rock and ice that moves around the sun. Sometimes comets can be seen down here on Earth out in space. We can watch it zooming across the sky. It's pretty cool. Dwarf planet, a round object that moves around the sun but is too small to be a planet. Pluto is a dwarf planet. That used to be a planet when Miss Baudin was little. That was the 9th planet. But then they decided that according to the characteristics, they're going to not make it a regular planet. They're going to call it a dwarf planet. Gas, a substance that spreads to fill any space that holds it. The sun is made of hydrogen and helium gases. Planet, a large object that moves around the sun. Solar system, the sun and the objects that move around it. Our solar system has 8 planets, dwarf planets, including Pluto, and many moons, asteroids, and comets. Yellow star, a medium-sized star. The sun is a yellow star. So that was our book that we would have read about in our classroom to let us know about the star. We would have been talking about facts about the star. So Miss Baudin wants to challenge you again. Like I said, go ahead when it's nice and bright and sunny and not rainy, because it looks like it's going to rain today. But I want you to go outside and I want you to watch. If you get up super early, see if you can see the direction that the sun is rising, which means it's coming up. It comes up in the east. Now, if you're not a super early riser like Miss Baudin and you like to sleep in late, then I want you to, in the afternoons, go find the sun in the sky when it is setting or going down. And so I want you to see, where is it rising or setting? If you can go and look and see where it's setting, that means it's going in the west. And so if you're facing the west when it is going down, looks like it's about to go into the ground, then right directly behind you is going to be east. Now, Miss Baudin is going to show you something that is called a compass. So a compass is going to show us directions. And I have a cool little phrase for you to help you remember. So this is what a compass looks like. A compass shows us the direction north, south, east, and west. So you can always remember north and south are opposite from each other. North is always the one that's going up and south is going down. But to remember the order, you can always remember north and south is on top, and you can remember that you're going to spell the word we if it's written correctly, because if not, and you have it facing the right way, it's going to spell ooh. Ooh, no, that's the wrong way. You wanted to spell we, because we got it right. But another device to help us remember the order of our compass rose is never eat soggy worms. Or, as Miss Baudin or your parents might have learned it, it spells news. And it kind of goes zigzag like that. There are many ways to go ahead and figure out how to remember a compass. But remember, north and south, east and west. So the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west. So what I want you to do tonight is to figure out where the sun is setting in the west, and right behind us the east, and then that will show you how it rises in the east and it sets in the west. That's a good little challenge to go through tonight, to go outside and look. But Miss Baudin wants to give you a few more fun facts about the sun. Okay, so do we know how old the sun is? I think we talked about it in class, but let's review. Let's think about this. The sun is super duper old. It is about the same age as our solar system. It is 4.5 billion years old. It is super duper old. So that means that the solar system is about 4.5 billion years old. Do you know how the scientists know that the sun is 4.5 billion years old? They actually did studies of some of the oldest objects in space. And you know one of the oldest objects in space, where they ended up getting this information from? The moon. Remember when our astronauts went on the moon and they landed on the moon? Well, when they did that, they ended up collecting some space rocks. And those space rocks were able to give the scientists information about the sun to tell them how old it was. So that's really pretty cool. Now, here's another really cool fact about it too. So, if the moon is 4.5 billion years old, we know that it's a yellow star. And scientists know that yellow stars can live to be about 9 billion years old maybe. So the sun is only halfway through how old it's going to be. It still has another 4.5 billion years to live. So the sun's going to be shining for a very, very, very long time. It'll probably live for about 5 more billion years old. But then what happens to the sun after it's lived its entire life? Well, because it's a yellow star, it's going to start to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And as it gets bigger, guess what happens to it? The temperature drops and it gets colder and colder inside of it. Weird, huh? Because when you think that it's going to get bigger, you think that it's going to get bigger and hotter, right? But it gets bigger and it turns into something called a red giant. And that red giant just tells you that it's going to get bigger, but it's going to get colder. It's going to be about 2,000 times as big as it is now. So that's kind of scary because that means that it could probably get closer and closer to Earth, or closer and closer to that first planet that's as close as it is already to the sun. So I wonder what that's going to look like or what's going to happen with that. But it's going to end up getting super cold and super big. And then I guess it'll eventually burn out. Or maybe like that video we watched in Magic School Bus, it might explode back into the dust and gas. And eventually they'll come back together and form another star. Remember how the Magic School Bus, when we saw that one, sees the stars and that turned into a new star? Yeah, that was pretty cool. Okay, well, I hope that you guys learned a lot about the sun. What I would like for you to do today is write me maybe 5 facts that you learned about the sun. Think of some of the 5 cool facts that stood out to you and write them down so you now are an expert about the sun. See you in a bit. Bye.